kept headphones in. Is that all right? Should I not have done that? Scrolling down. Hello, I'm Jamie Fletcher. I'm a director at Radio News Hub. I am a Sheffield United supporter. I love being in Mallorca, so missing both of those at the minute. I love drinking coffee, of which, although I can't be in a coffee shop at the minute, I am still at least having my fix of coffee every day. And I quite enjoy running as well, so that's a little bit about me. Hiya. Right, okay, this is a rather bizarre answer, but it dates back to my time at school. It was a year 10 project in history at school, where we had to come up with this kind of weird project that you wanted to work on. And it was about the same time that I was starting to get really interested in radio. I was listening to this wacky breakfast show every morning before going to school, and I think that I based my history project on a 14th century breakfast show, including travel news, which I was very proud of at the time, that a horse and cart was blocking a little pathway. And a little footnote on that, the guy that was doing that wacky breakfast show, when I was listening in as a kid, I ended up reading his news a few years later, which was very, very surreal. There have been a few. The most memorable, obviously elections, Brexit, things like that. Also did a phone-in with the then Prime Minister Gordon Brown, which was very, very bizarre. I was at a radio station where we ended up talking about fish cakes. But I guess one of the main ones, so if you, in my head, which probably isn't the most exciting full stop, but if you ask anyone who knows me, there's certain things that I really like, and that's things like Sheffield United, Mallorca, drinking coffee, and things like that, as I've already alluded to. And this radio station I was at the time, there was an airport that was about to open. I'll never forget my news editor, then news editor, came over to me and said, "No issue with flying, have you?" I was like, "No, why?" "We're going to send you on the first flight out at this airport." I was like, "Okay, great." It was this press flight, so it was a 24-hour stay to this destination. Where's the destination? It's Mallorca. It's absolutely brilliant. It was basically me and my mates. I'm probably going to sound really boring here, but I'm going to refer you to an earlier answer. And in year 10, I wanted to do radio-related stuff. So I never really thought of anything else. When I have been asked this question in the past, and if I'm brutally honest, I don't know what the answer is. I can't go without chocolate. I'd struggle without my phone. I mean, it's in my hand now, but I would struggle without my phone. But I think if it was a compromise of going 30 days versus a lifetime of chocolate, yeah, just no way. I know who's written these questions. Dogs. I can't say dogs often like me that much, but yeah, I think there's a certain person that would never talk to me again if I said cats. The fact that we're 6 years in, can I say that? I think I remember reading the first bulletin, and that only feels 2 minutes ago, and that was a real kind of, because we had this, are we going to do it, are we not? And we had about 6 months of should we, shouldn't we? And then when we first did that very first news bulletin, it was kind of like, wow, here we go, this is fun. Of News Hub, is that what it means? I don't think we can have regrets. I think we can probably look back and think, not sure we should have done that way then, or should we have taken it in a different direction here, there, or wherever. But if you're talking News Hub, I don't think there can be a biggest regret. I think the fact that, we're still, the only query where you could say, is there a regret, would have been, should we have done it in the first place? And I think that, I know I need a haircut now, but I've certainly aged over the last 6 years, so maybe I wouldn't have aged quite as much. I'm assuming this can't be friends and family, otherwise, A, you look bad if you don't say family member, and then your friends criticise you if you choose another friend and not them, so I'm going to go for a famous person. I always had a thing for Lily Allen back in the past, but that was probably 10-15 years ago, so I don't really know. I'm a bit dull, aren't I? I'm a bit boring. I've been watching a lot of White Lines recently on Netflix, the new Netflix show, and I'm quite intrigued by the actress who plays Kika. So intrigued, I can't actually remember her full name, but I've just followed her on Instagram. So yeah, maybe I could get to know her on a stranded desert island. Set myself up for a fall if any of them see it. I would like to hope but warrior. That's probably what this business has done. Fun warrior. Loyal? I hope so. I think I'm loyal. I know what one would describe me as. Challenging. As in, I like to challenge us to, really hit goals. I'd hope not grumpy. Why have I been asked this question? Challenging, grumpy, stroke, focused. And again, I'd say loyal. I'd hope they would say loyal, because I'd defend all of them. I want to know what the answer is now. Do you know, it's quite funny, because since lockdown began, my working habits have changed, and if I'm not listening to some of our radio stations higher, and I'm listening to some music, the current track that I'm listening a lot to is Tina Cousins and Pray, and only by accident that I have this thing that when I hear a song I like it, I Shazam it, because I'm useless at not remembering what these songs are, and I must have Shazammed it more than once, and it went into my playlist more than once, and I'm not bored of it yet. So I think if it was 5 hours, do you know what, I might even know the words to it by the end of that, so that would be a positive. Not really if I'm being brutally honest, the hours are still stupid. It's still get up really early and it's still go to bed really late. I would say that the workloads have increased. I would say that, it's certainly challenging at times not having creature comforts like fast work-based broadband. So upload speeds are interesting for anything that I need to get up online and things like that. But can I sit on the fence and say it's pretty much the same? The highs and lows of lockdown. I'll start with a high, because I think what I'm seeing at the minute, certainly from a social point of view, is that actually we're having this great Saturday night quiz, which is literally our focus of the week for me and a few friends. And actually really enjoying that. I think there's a danger that we're going to start trying to outdo each other though, because we're learning all the time. Oh, we can share a screen, let's do some slides, let's do some various fancy dance stuff. But that's a good laugh and a good giggle, so I look forward to that on a Saturday. So that's possibly a high. The low is probably, you've got to say missing. It's not got to, I genuinely am. You can't go 2 months without seeing family members and not be low about that. So it's a mixture between that and also not being able to be on an EasyJet plane, being in Mallorca and being in a coffee shop and at Bramall Lane. If money was no object, what would you do for that? Private jet, definitely. Want a private jet. That'd be awesome. And just fly wherever I wanted. Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, it's a coffee. I think whoever wrote these questions probably knew I was going to say that. In fact, I could probably get a couple of coffees because I'm quite basic. It's only Americano with milk I like. Yeah. Am I going to be criticised for that? So yeah, there have been some swears at times. But I haven't done the famous Nicky Campbell one that he did twice yet. Still early yet though. Who do I most admire? I don't know. Who do I most admire? Do you mean at Radio News Hub? I better say Steph and John and the team, hadn't I? Who do I most admire? There are people that I've worked for that I look at, and I'm not going to say who they are. I'm going to blow smoke up there. What's-its? But there are people who have gone on to be very, very successful. So there's a lot of people I've worked with who have gone on to have really, really good careers. So if that's the question you mean. Not sure. What question did you fear you might get asked? Possibly something about putting me on the spot about various Radio News Hub workers, but you haven't, so I don't have to answer them. So, yay, well done.